Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News. Fans, Grant Ellis has admitted he can't wait for his season of The Bachelor to come to an end. The contestant, who will soon have to choose between Lutia Gar and Juliana Pasquarosa, said he is excited about the upcoming season final and that he has no regrets about what went down on the show. Speaking on a recent episode of the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, Grant explained, "I'm very appreciative. It's a lot though, you know? I think dealing with public criticism from, a lot of times, just me being myself, everybody has a lot of different opinions. But I'm grateful," he added, "and I think that I handled myself really well in these episodes." Speaking to Serena Pitt backstage at the Women Tell All episode of the podcast, Grant defended his emotional struggle as he chooses between the final two bachelorettes. "My ending about me being torn. Listen, when you love hard, that's what happens. You know, I'm not a robot. I went in there with my emotions, and I think that comes out." Following his crucial fantasy sweepstakes, 31-year-old Grant is down to his final two women, Juliana Pasquarosa and Lutia Gar. Grant and Lutia shared a heart-to-heart after their Dominican Republic ziplining date, expressing their love and talking about their future. The Bachelor gave Lutia the key to the fantasy suite later that night, though she explained sex wasn't on the table, and Grant praised her values, priorities, and maturity. "I think our relationship has blossomed to the next level. It's more than just a physical connection. Lutia is a once-in-a-lifetime woman. We really opened up. It feels like we're supposed to be together." However, he later admitted to cameras, "I never thought it was possible to be in love with multiple women." He previously told Juliana, "I am falling in love with you," while she responded she wanted Grant to be her person forever. Grant said he is pleased with the outcome of his season and has no regrets. He said, "My plan was to go in there and lead with my heart, and that's what I did." Grant also told Serena Pitt he felt relieved at seeing his The Bachelor exes happy and thriving while at the Women Tell All taping. He said, "I just want the ladies to see how genuine I really was and how much I care for them, and I hope that was show." He added that the women helped him grow as a person and he hopes he did them same. The 31-year-old admitted it has been very hard watching the series back on TV. Grant will be shown choosing his bachelorette in the final rose
Ellis had
ceremony.
always imagined The Bachelor would be the experience of a lifetime. Sunsets in Santorini, tearful confessions under fairy lights, and ultimately finding the one. But no one prepared him for this. The sleepless nights, the gnawing self-doubt, and the impossibly hard choice between two women he'd grown to love in entirely different ways. As the cameras rolled into the final week, Grant wasn't glowing with the confidence America expected from his leading man. He was unraveling. In an exclusive behind-the-scenes Bombshell, production sources claim Grant Ellis is counting down the days until it all ends, because the decision looming ahead could break more than one heart, including his own. The man everyone fell for. From the moment Grant Ellis stepped out of the limo as The Bachelor's Season 29 lead, viewers were enchanted. He was charming without being cocky, thoughtful without being overly scripted, and drop-dead handsome with a smile that could melt an entire ABC production crew. 30 women had arrived to compete for his heart. Now only 2 remained. Juliana Pasquarosa, the fiery fashion designer with a razor-sharp tongue and an even sharper wardrobe. She challenged him, surprised him, and turned his world upside down with her raw honesty and ambitious spirit. And then there was Lutia Gar, the compassionate kindergarten teacher from Michigan whose steady warmth had been his emotional anchor throughout the season. Sweet, soft-spoken, and undeniably nurturing, Lutia had become America's sweetheart, and for a time, his. But with the finale days away, Grant was stuck in emotional quicksand. A man divided. According to an assistant producer who spoke under anonymity, Grant's final days in Tulum were far from romantic. He's totally torn. One moment he's telling us he dreams of waking up next to Leisha every day. Then 2 hours later, he's saying Juliana makes him feel the most alive he's ever felt. He wants to be done. He said it. I just want this to be over. Insiders revealed that production had even begun holding wellness check-ins with Grant due to his visible fatigue and anxiety. The fantasy suites, usually a chance for reflection and intimacy, only heightened his torment. Juliana's suite was passionate and electric. Leisha's was peaceful and full of future plans. 2 entirely different nights, 2 different versions of the same life. The next morning, he reportedly asked his handler, "What if I choose the wrong life?" Back at the beach villa, Juliana Pasquarosa wasn't mincing words. Dressed in an emerald silk wrap dress, she sipped her coffee while telling producers off camera, "Leisha is safe. She's a warm blanket. But I'm the one who gets Grant's blood pumping. I'm the woman he's scared to choose because he knows I'd never let him get comfortable. And maybe that's the kind of love he needs." Juliana had spent most of the season walking a fine line between confidence and arrogance. Fans either adored her for her authenticity or criticized her for seeming too calculated. But there was no denying the chemistry between them. Their one-on-one in Morocco? Fireworks. Their impromptu dance during a downpour in Mexico? One of the season's most viral moments. Still, was passion enough? Leisha's tears. Meanwhile, Leisha Gar was struggling in silence. Though she'd made it to the final 2, her confidence was shaken. Grant had become distant, and she noticed. "It's like he's somewhere else when we're together, like he's with me physically, but emotionally, he's trying to convince himself of something." In a heart-wrenching confessional, Leisha admitted she feared being blindsided. "I've been 100% in this from the start. I didn't come here to compete. I came here because I believed in him. But if he needs excitement or drama, maybe I was wrong about the kind of man Grant is." She wiped away her tears and looked directly into the camera. "If he picks her, it'll hurt, but I won't let it break me." Production in chaos. Behind the scenes, producers were reportedly scrambling. Grant is the first Bachelor in years who might walk away alone, a source close to production claimed. There was a real conversation about re-editing the finale because the ending looked like a mess. In one scene that has since leaked online, Grant can be seen pacing in a white linen shirt, barefoot, whispering to himself, "I don't want to regret this." Another clip showed him tearing up during a one-on-one conversation with host Jesse Palmer. "I thought this would be clearer by now, but the more I think about it, the more I feel like choosing either one of them would be betraying a part of myself." The final dates were supposed to clarify things. Juliana took Grant to a Mayan cenote, where she opened up about her childhood trauma, her fear of motherhood, and her dream of building a life that never feels stagnant. He held her hand, visibly moved. "You've made me confront things I've buried for years," he whispered. Leisha, ever the romantic, planned a slow paddleboat ride at sunset. They laughed, reminisced about their journey, and she handed him a letter she'd written titled, "A Life with You." He read it silently, then hugged her for nearly 5 minutes without saying a word. That night, he cried alone in his hotel suite, unable to sleep. The final rose ceremony location was ethereal. An ancient Tulum temple surrounded by candlelight, vines, and crashing waves. But Grant Ellis wasn't glowing. He looked tense, haunted. As the women arrived one by one, America watched from their living rooms with bated breath. Juliana stepped out of the limo first, a Bachelor Nation kiss of death, but she didn't know that. With poise and elegance, she stood before Grant and smiled. "I'm here because I believe in us, because I know what we are together is rare." Grant took her hands. "Juliana, being with you has been a whirlwind. You challenge me, excite me, and terrify me. But I've realized something." He paused.
I'm not the man you deserve. Not yet. And I can't ask you to wait for me to become him." Juliana blinked, but she didn't break. "So it's her?" Grant nodded slightly. Juliana smiled. "Then don't screw it up." She walked away with her head high, but when she reached the limo, she crumbled. "I know he's going to regret this." A love declared. Leisha was next. She looked angelic in a flowing cream gown, her hand shaking slightly. Grant, already tearful, began to speak. "Leisha, from the moment we met, you've made me feel safe. You've shown me love that's unconditional, kind, and real. I've been afraid, because sometimes I think I don't deserve that kind of love." He reached into his pocket. "But I want to try. I want to build something with you. If you'll have me." Leisha burst into tears. "Yes, yes, 1,000 times!" They kissed. The music swelled, rose petals floated in the air. But backstage, Grant was still fidgeting. His eyes darted towards the limo that had carried Juliana away. He'd made his decision, but had he made peace with it? The aftermath. 3 months later, after the final rose aired live, Grant and Leisha walked out hand in hand, but the tension was palpable. "We've had some challenges," Leisha admitted. "Adjusting to real life hasn't been easy." Grant nodded, choosing his words carefully. "I care deeply about Leisha. She is an incredible woman, but I've been honest with her that I'm still working through some feelings about how everything ended." Juliana entered next, to thunderous applause. She stunned in a deep red dress and sat opposite Grant, calm but cold. "You made your decision. I just hope it was for the right reasons, and not because you were scared of what we could have been." Grant looked pained. "I'll never forget what we had." Juliana smiled tightly. "Neither will I." The decision that still haunts him. Off camera, insiders say Grant and Leisha are taking a break. He's been spotted in Los Angeles looking somber. Leisha returned to Michigan. As for Juliana, she just launched a new fashion line and hinted at Bachelor in Paradise. Grant recently gave an interview to a podcast, and his final words still echo in fans' ears. "I was excited for the show to end because I thought the ending would bring peace. But sometimes the end just leaves you wondering, what if I chose wrong?" The end? Or is it? Stay tuned, because if Grant Ellis's heart isn't made up, the Bachelor saga may be far from over.